Hi, I'm Dr. Barone of Barone Spinal Care and Performance, and this week we're going to be talking about some pretty exciting stuff. Number one, we have a new service that's available to our patients, our practice members, and the public, and it's called metabolic testing. And you can go to our website at baronespinalcare.com. baronespinalcare.com. You'll see our newly launched site. We're refining it from week to week. I think you'll find it very user-friendly and packed with information. You can click on the blog, get connected with our social media, Facebook. So navigate the site, see what you think. You can give us feedback, tell us what you like, what you don't like. But you're going to really like this metabolic testing. Now, our trainers are going to be performing the metabolic testing in Barone Performance. It's something that I had done quite a while ago, and that's what really got my interest in the metabolic testing, because it's a way that you can actually measure what your body is doing while you're working out. And a lot of people have no idea what their physiology is doing during their workouts. So we're going to be doing what's called an exercise metabolic rate. We're going to be determining what your resting metabolic rate is. We can outfit our practice members and patients now with heart rate monitors, and we can actually program those. And we can actually give you nutritional profiles based on the calories that you are burning every single day in your life, so that you apply a science toward achieving your goals, whether it's weight loss or whether you're an elite athlete. We can actually apply a science out. It's just absolutely amazing. So go to baronespinalcare.com, check that out. I wanted to share with you a little bit about how I got into upper cervical chiropractic care. When I was about 8 years old, I looked in a full-length mirror in my home, and I realized I didn't have a shirt on, and I realized not only was I very scrawny, but I also realized that I was very crooked. And what I saw was that my shoulders weren't level, they were pulled forward, and I quickly realized I wasn't happy with how I looked in that mirror. I realized that there's something inherently, I knew that something was wrong. So what I did was I basically designed a program for myself to correct it without consulting with my mother or any doctors, anything like that. So my mother used to run with lead weights on her ankles every single day for miles and miles and miles, and which, looking back, was pretty extraordinary now that I think about it. But I would take those lead weights when she wasn't using them, and I put them on a broomstick, and I created my own weight set. And what I did is I postulated that by doing that, if I put enough muscle on, that I could correct these imperfections in my posture. Well, eventually that led to me entering a bodybuilding competition when I was 17 years old. It was called the Teenage Buffalo Bodybuilding Competition. And I went out there, but it was really interesting because working that hard on my physique, I still had one shoulder that was higher than the other. My spine was still off center, and I realized that no matter how much muscle I put on, it's not going to correct my structural imperfections. When I was in the Navy, I decided that I was going to be a chiropractor. Little did I know the impact that it would have on my life. Getting out of the Navy, I worked in a factory, third shift, worked all night, went to undergraduate, worked very hard, and moved my family to Davenport, Iowa. I had a 4-week-old baby. We loaded up a 26-foot moving vehicle and headed off to the Midwest. I was very excited to be there. And what they taught us in one of my first classes was that subluxation, what subluxation is and what it does to your body. And they taught us that when your body is subluxated, that it interferes with your nervous system. And when your nervous system is interfered with, your body can't be healthy. And they taught us that what chiropractors do and what adjustments do is they correct subluxations so bodies can function how they were designed to function, by allowing the innate intelligence of the body to do what it needs to do. And that was great, and I was extremely excited about that concept and idea, and more excited than ever actually at that time. But when I began to get adjustments, I became very unexcited, and I began to lose some of my passion. And the reason why is because no matter how many times I went to get adjustments or saw the chiropractor, I was always adjusted. So I began to ask the questions, if I'm always adjusted, then when is my body ever healing? If it's being free of subluxation that allows our body to heal, then when am I ever really truly healing? And that led me on a very long journey that eventually got me in the hands of an upper cervical chiropractor, or one that was training to be an upper cervical chiropractor. That experience was very, very instrumental in where I am today, because his name's Mike Rusomano. He's actually practicing in Charlottesville, Virginia now. He took some very precise x-rays of me. He showed me how my posture was off. He analyzed those x-rays in front of me. He lied me on my side. He stood over me, and I could hear him really working hard, but I couldn't feel the adjustment. And I actually began to laugh. I was so skeptical and thought it was so ridiculous. It felt like a Seinfeld episode, that I thought, there's no way this is going to work. But when I stood up, my hips leveled out, my legs even out, and on a machine, a postural machine, my body came back to center. But that's still not what sold me. What sold me was the fact that over the next 2 weeks, the joints between my sternum and my rib cage, the sternocostal joints, actually began to make audible, loud audible sounds as my rib cage began to shift. I could feel my rib cage shifting, and I got audible sounds that was objective evidence for me that my structure was changing. And over the next 2 years, my shoulders leveled out. I began to hold adjustments for the first time in my life, and my life began to change in a dramatic way. And some of the benefits that I wasn't expecting were things like my emotional state, and my moods, and my ability to focus. I saw a direct correlation in how I felt emotionally as well, which makes sense knowing what we know now about the human body. I got my wife under the care as well. She had migraine headaches. She had laparoscopic surgeries before she was 20. All sorts of problems. And although regular chiropractic would help her for a couple days at a time, it did not actually correct her problems. When I got her under Upper Cervical Chiropractic, it completely altered the direction of her life. The endometriosis gone, the migraine headaches gone, the low back pain gone, the pain down into the legs gone, and she had a whole host of other issues as well. But the point is that one family member after another, I got under this care. It completely altered and changed their lives, and it added such a tremendous improvement to the quality of their lives that there was no turning back, and I knew that I had to deliver this to whatever community that I would end up in. And so here I am today delivering upper cervical chiropractic care, and I'm very excited to be offering this service. We do it in a very precise, unique way, combining not only the upper cervical care, but now we have Barone Performance, where we also, it's a supportive service to help people get fit, where we look at things like their balance and their stability and their agility and their strength and their cardiovascular functioning and their body fat and how their movement patterns. It's really revolutionary the way that we brought all this together, and with just an amazing group of people. And so we're very excited. If you're watching this right now and you're suffering, and maybe you have those migraine headaches, maybe you have low back pain, maybe you're not as fit as you would like to be, maybe you're not playing with your grandchildren because you're just uncomfortable, or maybe you're not traveling, or maybe you're just in constant fights with your spouse because you feel so lousy and you feel like your life isn't moving forward, all you have to do is give us a call, and we would love to bring you in and begin to help change the direction of your life. We're very excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the office. God bless. See you next time.